to another episode of Swill and Grog's Wonderful World of Beer. Once again, I'm joined by special guest reviewer Beelzebub, and Beelzebub actually has a special guest in store for me today, which is going to come as quite a surprise, I'm told. Now, you may ask what it is we're reviewing. Well, it's Kiss Destroyer Beer, 4.7% alcohol by volume, a product of Sweden. Now, I had a hell of a time trying to get a hold of this. It wasn't until I gave up looking for it that I actually found it, and it actually cost me $25 for a six-pack of this. Anyway, before we get stuck into the review, who is this special guest that you are going to have for the review today, Mr. Beelzebub?
I shall summon a special guest.
Okay. Oh my God! It's Ace Frehley, the spaceman. So why did you choose to summon Ace Frehley?
Because he was the one with the best guitar.
Ah, indeed.
Yep, and the longest hair. Longest hair was very important for Beelzebub.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, Mr. Beelzebub, do you have your can of Kiss Destroyer beer to review?
I have my can of Kiss Destroyer beer here.
So let's see.
It's been officially sanctioned by Space Ace.
Excellent. And do you have anything to say, Ace?
Hottest band in the world, man.
All right. Well, I think without further ado, we'll get stuck into this. Okay. So let's crack it open. Nice crack there. So it's a nice, 500ml can that looks quite attractive, I must say, with the Kiss logo on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll pour it out into this Polena Stein. I think Mr. Beelzebub is pouring it out into a Lowenbrau Stein. Okay. Just giving it a nice, gentle pour there.
Smells yeasty just from here.
Yeah, I can actually pick that up. Okay. So I think it's time to make an assessment of the appearance when you've finished pouring, Mr. Beelzebub. Okay, so the appearance is a very clear golden colour with a decent amount of carbonation. I've got about bang on 2 fingers of bright white head there. So it does look awfully good. But I think Beelzebub, you've actually got more than 3 fingers of head there.
I poured it rather fast just to see
yeah,
what
you
it
did.
was.
You did quite an aggressive pour.
That was a very aggressive
yeah.
pour, but I'm feeling really aggressive at the moment. It's just an aggressive day.
Okay.
And it's a very aggressive caramel colour, I think. That's a very...
Yeah, it's a bit a bit darker than I thought. I was expecting it to be of a more sort of straw sort of colour, but it's a lot more golden than I expected, actually.
Yeah, it sort of suits the nature of the band. A little bit of a heavier kind of colour.
Indeed. Anyway, let's move on to the aroma.
Definitely yeasty.
Yeah, there's some yeast there. I'm picking up some grain and a fainter aroma of grass. A pretty stock standard Euro lager aroma, as a matter of fact.
I'm looking for the aroma of gaff tape, and I can't seem to find it at the moment. And you know, that kind of, the smell of smoke machine, I can't find that either. It's a bit...
Well, that sounds like it's proving to be a little disappointing for you.
You never know, it might be in the first sip.
Alright, well, anyway, it's time for the most important part of the review, the taste test. So, cheers to you all, and a special cheers to the God of Thunder.
God of Thunder!
Anyway, let's dive in. Ace.
Checking it out, man.
Well,
Here's one for you, Ace.
yeah, it's not bad actually. The taste certainly does follow the nose. Up front I'm getting a lot of sweet malts, which I enjoy a lot in a beer. There's a nice degree of breadiness to them. Yeah, there's a bit of sort of leafy hop bitterness in the finish as well. I think the finish is sort of what you could describe as semi-dry. What are your thoughts, Beelzebub?
I'm thinking it's a very Nordic kind of taste. Being made in Sweden it's certainly living up to that kind of regional flavour set.
Well, that's certainly not outside the realms of possibility. Anyway, I do need to have another gulp.
I think I should have another 3 gulps for the other 3 members of the band.
Indeed. Well, I find
That was
that
a
it's
gin gulp.
that was a gin gulp. Well, look, I find that it's certainly holding that that taste profile. You know, it's certainly you know, a very certainly a very drinkable lager, without a doubt. You could you know, certainly session this.
It would be very good after a jam session, I believe. It'd be the sort of beer that you could really swill down once you're on a fire on stage. You come off thirsty as, in a Scandinavian country, of course.
It must be a Scandinavian
Yes.
country, yeah.
A couple of these would definitely quell the fires of hell.
Indeed. Anyway, I think we need to have another gulp and then give it a score out of 10. Alright, well, I'm certainly enjoying this. What are your thoughts, Beelzebub?
I'm thinking it's a very drinkable lager. You know, the branding is certainly going to be something that attracts people to the beer, but I think the beer itself is going to hold up by itself. This could be a lager that was just sold without any branding whatsoever. I think they've chosen a very good lager. Space Ace, I think they've chosen very well.
Have you tried the shandy?
It's nothing extraordinary, but it is, yeah, it is a very solid lager without a doubt. I think the only thing letting it down is the price point. I mean, here in Australia, they're really charging an arm and a leg for it, so that's going to, you know, put a lot of people off. With the exception of, you know, the Kiss fans out there who would, you know, pay something. You know, they'd be happy, I'm sure, to pay an extraordinary amount of money for it.
They probably would. It's a devilish idea.
Indeed. So I think we've expressed our final thoughts. So, what would you consider giving it as a score out of 10, Beelzebub?
I would give it a clear 7. Definitely for that kind of lager. Look, if I was trying to judge it against other Scandinavian lagers, I'd probably rate it higher. But as it's branded so heavily, I would have thought that they would have gone that extra mile. So I think only a 7.
Okay, I would probably be inclined to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's a little bit better than I thought it would be. I mean, a lot of people are dubbing this a gimmick beer. But, you know, I mean, I guess I can understand, you know, that point of view. But, you know, it's not a bad, like, there's a lot of lagers that it, you know, certainly, you know, leaves, you know, in the dirt, you know, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely. There's many common country lagers would be put to shame by this. From that point of view, it's a devilishly good lager. But
All right.
as something that's meant as a gimmick, you know, it could have been finer for the price. That bring it down that notch in price to a realistic price, and then I think the points would go up.
Yeah, I think if it was competitively priced, you'd really have a good product on your hands here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, so you give it a 7. I give it a 7.5. So that would bring it to a 7.25
As an
out of
average.
10 as an average. So that's not a bad score, really. I mean, that's certainly you know, indicative of
What does Space Ace have to say?
what you would, you know, consider a solid lager. Yeah. Ace, what do you have to say?
Shout it out loud, my friend. We are no gimmick.
All right. Well, anyway, that does bring us to the end of yet another Swill and Grog beer review. So, until next time, fare thee well, all.
Proust.